Okay, we have Jackie Bullock here from, I think, the furthest traveler today, Chantilly, Virginia, with an interesting story. Read the article about it, and we were amazed because a very veteran equestrian rider and a coach at Chantilly High School, I guess, said, "Why don't you try the pole vault this year?" First time trying it, and you went really high up in the Virginia, class, and did 11.6 in your first year. So tell us about that, because being on a horse, riding a horse, is a little different from.
Just a little different.
Yeah.
There's nothing in common, basically. I think the only advantage that riding gave me from pole vault was, I guess, some leg strength. But even then, it's different kinds of leg strength.
Yeah.
I would say, I was actually a competitive gymnast when I was little, in elementary school. And then around 6th grade, I quit and I started riding. And for a couple years, I was just riding for 4 years. That's where I got really good at riding. And then sophomore year, sophomore year, the coach recruited me for pole vault, and I started it, and I was like, this is I don't even know what pole vault is. But then I started it, and I think my old gymnastics background from 3 years ago really helped me with the transition to pole vault. I think it's less of riding, more of gymnastics, and then now pole vault's kind of my thing, and I love it so much.
Well, if you were saying, hey, I was a gymnast one time, became a pole vault, that wouldn't be worth the story, because it's like 3/4 of the girls at least, they all seem to have a gymnastics background. The original one here in New York State who got the pole vault going for the girls in 1999 was a top gymnast, and, we're saying, oh, wait a minute, the girls need the pole vault too, not just the guys, and everything. But so many of the top gymnasts, we had a girl became state champion, used to stand on her, do handstands before every single one. She was here last year, everything. But but the gymnastics, of course, the vaulting off the vault, and everything about gymnastics probably helps with the pole vault. But riding, it's a different story. Other than you got to be a little bit fearless. And I was seeing what you were saying about the nerves when you're on a horse, and the nerve. Now, pole vaulters cannot afford to have any nerves at all. There's every time you take a vault, there's something nervous that can throw you off. The wind, the rain, and everything. But when you're, equestrian rider, you got to, you're depending on another. You're depending on your pole here, but here you're depending on a horse there too.
I think that's what made my anxiety so worse with riding, or so bad with riding. And I do think horseback riding for me, I've done it all competitively. I've gone pretty intense with it, and I think competitive wise, pole vault's really my thing, because I think I have the nerves to pole vault. I just cleared both my bars at 3rd attempts, which is really scary, but I think I'm a lot better about the nerves with pole vault rather than riding, just because with riding there's a lot of pressure from the community, I think, and the pole vault community is so much different. Everyone's so nice and supportive, and maybe even if it's your first day, you will be supportive all the way through, and I think that's why I love it so much too.
Pole vaulters, it's a family, it's a clan, it's everybody's together out there supporting, clapping for each other. From what I've seen of equestrian sporting events with the Olympics and everything, it's not quite as convivial and friendly. It seems to me, just from in certain remarks that have been made, stories going on through the years. But pole vault, everybody is there for each other, because in the end, it almost always ends in a failure, in a way, because, a sprinter goes across the line with a PR, fine. Unless you say, hey, I've had enough for the day, I just set my PR, that's it. You're usually ending, with a failed attempt at the end of the day, and you just accept that, it's always going to be that way in the pole. But you're always pushing the limits. You're always reaching a little further, even when you don't think you have anything left. So, any goals for you? Well, you're at 11.6, so as a sophomore, which is, obviously really good. Any goals coming up for your junior year?
Definitely Nike Nationals. I did qualify this past spring for emerging elite, but I qualified too late, so I didn't get to go. So I definitely want to go to both indoor and outdoor nationals. Have fun, most of all. Like I think for me, from like the sports I've done, gymnastics, riding, football, like at first it's like really chill, and then I can get really, really competitive. And I think like, especially I've learned my lesson in gymnastics and riding, so I think like I'm gonna actively try to like take a step back and make sure having fun is a priority. Really appreciate my team. Like, you know, they're seniors next year, a lot of them, and it's just like be in the moment, jump high, improve. I really want to improve my form. My coach at home, he always says like form first, height later, and I think that really helps. Like when you not forget about the height, but just like focus on the form, because like the height will come. So I think just those three. Like I read a book, Sean Francis's book. It's really popular. My coach let me borrow it to read, and it was like I don't like height goals long term, and I kind of agree with that. So I'm not gonna set any height goals, but I just want to jump high in general, and just like most importantly improve my form. There's like little things in my jump that I'm like in my head. I'm like I want to have this like better fixed, improved by next year. So yeah.
As the guy who taught me everything about officiating pole vault said, just every time you step up there, you got 200 things you're thinking about, you know, with this. And then there's with us officials, there's about 200 things for us to think about. Is he going to bang his head against the pole, the bar, and stuff. But do you do any other events in track, like sprints or anything like that?
I do sprint and I hurdle occasionally, but pole vault is my main event. And the thing is, I've only done 2 seasons of track, and it was last spring and last winter, and both those seasons I had really bad shin splints, so I was kind of limited to what I could do. But I really enjoy hurdling. I think it's like a lot of fun. I just like to jump over stuff, I guess, like with riding, pole vault, hurdling. And then I mean, I'm not like, I like sprinting too. It's fun, and I plan to like do other events this year, just to like have fun, like try other things. So yeah.
Well, a lot of times the events can take away, like we have a champion in Connecticut, Talia Graham, who's been here occasionally, but she qualified for both the 100 and the 100 hurdles at states, and you know, up in Connecticut, and you go, whoa, and you know, she finished 6th in her heat in the hurdle of 3 hurdles, and she said, I'm not, or 5th, I think it was. He said, well, I guess I'm not going to finals. I said, no, you had a great time. You're probably going to, she ended up going, but she had won the indoor state championship, and we got Jordan coming up tomorrow. Jordan beat her, you know. Jordan had a little less pressure on her from the other events, but sprinting is, you know, we had Leah Pasqualetti, who set the national record senior year 2020, when that was wiped out, you know, because of COVID. She had to go out to California to go 14.9, but she was even smaller than you, but she had speed. You know, she was one of the top. Her relay team was one of the tops in the state in you know, the 4x100 and the 4x2 indoors. So you got the speed going down there, that can really help. I'm not sure that being a good 3200. I occasionally get my pole vaulters running the 3200. Why? You know, we have to wait for many minutes for you, and but sprinting, you know, and obviously hurdles, high jump, can all, if you can work them in.
I definitely do want to prioritize sprinting, because it is really important to be fast. Like all the top girls and boys are just like incredible sprinters. So definitely gonna prioritize that too.
And you know, some girls are built, you know, like string beams, and you know, and maybe you can flip them over. Others, you know, you got to get the power, you know, because there's a rare combination that have everything, you know, that's power, height, you know, and everything. So if you've got the speed, and you can, but then the only thing with speed, of course, is you have to use the technique to use that to make the horizontal go vertical at just the right height. But, well, I know you have are you going back to Virginia today?
No, we're staying with my family, so we're just like visiting, so we're gonna go back.
Oh, you had somebody from Suffern that teaches at Suffern or something? Oh, okay, yeah. I often officiate over in Suffern, you know, and everything. everything. So yeah, great place to be around. So it's in the Rockland area or up here where you're staying?
Actually have no clue. I don't know the geography of New York.
Okay,
This is like one of my first times in this area, so yeah.
Well, congratulations on a day. I mean, when you're vaulting in the barn, usually you don't get the guys tomorrow outside. They're the ones that probably going for state records, you know. And it is a lot tougher in the barn. You know, it's a great place, but the humidity, the heat, everything in here. So it's rare that anybody, you know, like hits their personal best in here. You know, it's tough and everything. And it's
fast
the girls.
It was a fast runway.
Oh yeah, it's fast runway.
I was like, wow, so fast.
It's just the conditions of the heat. You know, it's no matter how many they put the fans on here, try and get the heat out. It's hot here. This year hasn't actually been bad. Last year it was like 96 degrees, humidity. You know, you came in here and you were raining sweat immediate. So, but you did great today, and I hope to catch you in the future. We'll be watching out for you here in New York.
Thank you.